Hey everyone, Supergirl is in cinemas this month, and we had the chance to speak to the film's writer, Ana Nogueira. So please, enjoy our full conversation from the Supergirl Global Press Junket right here.
Hi.
Hi Ana, it's wonderful to
Hi.
see you. Thanks so much for taking the time.
Yes, I'm so happy to be here.
We're from Screen Brief. We're huge comic book fans. You can probably see behind
Yes.
me is a copy of the book. There's been so
Yes.
many DC films over the decades, but this is the first time that a DC film has one for one adapted a specific comic book. I wonder for you as a writer, what was your first approach to breaking that down to
Right.
translate it into a script? Was it panel by panel? Was it issue by issue?
Oh, that's such a great question. For me, there's a few things. I read the book and I loved it, and it gave me sort of a specific feeling, I guess. And so I wanted to translate that feeling. That becomes kind of like the beacon that you're following is to take what you experienced and say, this is what I experienced. I hope this is what other people experience then when they see the movie. Um, I would go through, I mean, I've read it so many times. The process is probably really boring. I would dog ear different pages and think about what could be useful, how and when. Circle pieces of dialogue, sometimes take panels that I thought were particularly like beautiful or important to the story. Um, and then the next step is you have to let the comic go, right? You have to kind of like fully immerse yourself in it so you know its bones and you know what you love. And then you have to say, okay, but now we have to turn it into a movie. And comics do one thing, movies do another. And trust that if you did your first work and your research and your reading and your sort of loving and underlining, that it will find its way into the script.
That makes so much sense. I saw so many of those splash panels coming to life and it was amazing. I wonder for you, you talk about changes you have to make for the film. The comic takes
Mhm.
place over many months. Your film
Yeah,
takes place over 3 days.
yeah.
How did you make that pacing decision to change that?
Well, I just knew that we needed a ticking clock for the audience to sort of stay invested. It's just like sort of a thing in a movie. You're like, okay, but what's the ticking clock? How are we going to get what are the stakes of this? Um, and so I kind of had to make up this new rule that isn't quite in the comic to give us the structure to get us in there in 3 days. And it felt like propulsive and exciting to have a movie that we knew was only going to take place in a short period of time.
Yeah, that's excellent. I've seen the film and you can really feel it. It's got that
Oh, good.
fast pace and it's very exciting.
Great.
There's a moment in the film where Kara says to Ruthie, Superman is not necessarily the same as me because his heart is light. It's
Yeah.
not heavy like her heart. I wonder what was your approach to figure out how to write the way that Kara makes decisions because they're a little bit different to how Clark would make decisions and they have consequences too.
Totally. I mean, I think she's far more impulsive than he is. I think she shoots from the hip because she does kind of feel like a cowgirl to me. Um, and I think that she's got her own morality, right? That's maybe a little bit more complicated than his. Superman lives by a very clear set of rules, and it does well by him, but they don't totally gel with who Kara is. And so I think she's constantly weighing her own morality in these situations. And sometimes she has to do it quite quickly.
That's so cool. You've been an actor, you've been a singer, you've been a
Yeah.
playwright. You're now into the DC universe. I think
Yeah.
James Gunn has talked about he wants every film to have its own flavor. What is that creative process like being part of such an early team at DC Studios? What's the collaboration and idea generation process like? I'd love to know a bit
Yeah.
more.
Yeah. I mean, James really wants the creatives and writers to have their own voice with their projects, which is awesome. He's a writer himself, and I obviously he's a writer himself, but I think he really thinks of himself as a writer first, and so he just respects people's individual voices. And so for me, I came in early enough that I kind of got to do what I wanted with Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. I don't have to fit it in the same way, probably as we'll have to going forward to the universe.
You've taken Supergirl, the first Supergirl movie in 40 years. You're taking on Wonder Woman next. Is there anything
Oh,
you can share with fans about how you feel? Anything you can tease at where you're at with the script?
oh, I can't tease anything, but of course I know how much these characters mean to everybody, and my goal is always just to do right by these incredible, iconic characters that we've all grown to love.
Thanks so much for your time. Lovely to meet you.
Yes, you as well.
Thanks for watching our interview. I hope you enjoyed it. I just want to say how grateful I am for this opportunity. The very first video we posted 3 years ago was on the day James Gunn announced his brand new DC universe. So this was a big deal for me because this channel has been about building a passion for DC Studios. So if you're a fan of DC, please subscribe to Screen Brief because we have a lot more coming for Lanterns, Clayface, and of course Supergirl. Thank you again for tuning in. It really means a lot. Please stick around and I'll see you in the next one.